Have you ever heard of the mysterious Kamikakushi disappearances in Japan? Believed to be caused by some divine or supernatural force? A 4-year-old boy vanished without a trace in just 20 seconds while walking with his father early in the morning. 9 years later, a middle-aged woman also disappeared in the blink of an eye while visiting Akagi Shrine with her family. Then there was the case of a 5-year-old girl who went missing while digging for bamboo shoots in the forest with her mother and older sister. The common thread in these 3 mysterious disappearances is that the victims were never found, and no one could explain how they vanished so quickly without leaving a single trace. Before we dive into the story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified whenever a new video is released. These are 3 real and mysterious disappearance cases that all took place in Japan. Kamikakushi is a unique Japanese term used to describe mysterious disappearances believed to be caused by supernatural or divine forces. Such vanishings are often thought to be the result of abductions by legendary creatures like Tengu or Kitsune. Sometimes, these inexplicable disappearances, impossible to explain through science, are referred to as Tengu Kakushi. One of the most famous stories associated with Kamikakushi is the legendary anime directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The film, titled Sen to Chihiro no Kamikakushi in Japanese and Spirited Away in English, was released in 2001. It tells the story of Chihiro, a 10-year-old girl who visits an abandoned amusement park with her parents, a place inhabited by supernatural beings. After accidentally entering a sacred realm, Chihiro's parents are turned into pigs after eating food found there. Though the story is fantastical, in reality, Japan has seen at least 3 mysterious disappearance cases that remain unsolved to this day. All of the victims seem to vanish into thin air, leaving no trace behind. Despite large-scale police investigations, these cases remain cold, continuing to puzzle authorities and the public alike. Shinya Matsuoka, a 4-year-old boy, lived with his parents, older sister, and younger brother in the city of Ushiku, Ibaraki Prefecture. On March 5, 1989, after the sudden death of his grandmother, the entire family traveled to Tokushima Prefecture to attend her funeral. They drove for an hour to a relative's house on his mother's side and spent the night there. On the morning of March 7th, Shinya's father took the 3 children out for a walk, as the surrounding scenery was beautiful. The relative's house was built on a mountain slope, 200 meters or 656 feet high, with no other homes or people nearby. This place had only one road leading from the city up to the mountain, making the scenery extremely quiet and peaceful. After walking for about 10 minutes, the father decided to take the children back to the house in time for breakfast. A staircase about 10 meters around 32 feet long led from the outside up to the relative's house. The father carried the youngest son ahead, while Shinya and his older sister followed behind. Even though Shinya walked a bit slowly, the father turned to look and could still see him climbing the stairs, so he felt reassured. When they reached the entrance, the father and the daughter entered first. He handed the youngest child to his wife, intending to go back out to get Shinya. But when he turned around, he realized Shinya hadn't followed them into the house. The father rushed outside, looking around the area, but the boy was nowhere to be seen. He searched the entire area surrounding the house, but couldn't find a trace of him. The time it took for the father to enter the house, hand off the baby, and step back outside was no more than 20 seconds. Immediately afterward, the entire family and relatives joined the search, but no one saw any sign of Shinya. By noon that same day, the Matsuoka family called the police. Local police and firefighters, 100 people in total, quickly joined the search effort. Fearing that the boy may have wandered into the nearby mountains, the search was expanded across the surrounding area. By March 8th, over 200 people were involved, including 100 riot police officers from the prefecture, local fire departments, and residents from the community. The search continued for 3 months but yielded no results. The father was certain the boy couldn't have just wandered off, as he had gone outside almost immediately, but the search was in vain. The Sadamitsu town police conducted a detailed investigation around the area where the family had been staying. They ruled out the possibility of an accident with several convincing reasons. The area was extremely remote, and the house was at the end of a small town road, meaning very few people ever went there unless they lived nearby. Furthermore, at the time of Shinya's disappearance, a nearby farmer confirmed that no vehicles had passed through. Police also found no evidence of a traffic accident anywhere in the area. Additionally, no outsiders knew that the Matsuoka family had come to spend the night at their relative's home. So how could a child disappear so mysteriously in such a short amount of time? After Shinya's disappearance, police installed a recording device on the phone line at the relative's house, hoping that a kidnapper might call. On the night of March 15th, just one day before the Matsuoka family planned to return to Ushiku City, a strange phone call came in. The caller was a woman with a distinct Tokushima accent, asking to speak with Keiko, Shinya's mother. However, it was Shinya's father, Masanobu, who picked up the phone. Upon hearing the request for his wife, he passed the call to Keiko. The woman introduced herself as a parent representative from Saikei Kindergarten, saying she wanted to send a donation to support the Matsuoka family, and asked how to transfer the money. Keiko then asked if she meant the kindergarten where Shinya attended, and the woman confirmed. The caller claimed to be the mother of Mariko Nakahara, one of Shinya's classmates. At the end of the call, Keiko told her they would be returning home the next day and invited the woman to visit them directly. The caller agreed. However, on March 17th, when the family returned to their home in Ushiku, the mysterious woman never showed up and never called again. Feeling uneasy, Keiko contacted the kindergarten and was shocked by what she was told. The school stated that there was no student named Mariko Nakahara and that no donation campaign had ever taken place. Looking back, Keiko realized the call was extremely suspicious. The woman had a Tokushima accent, while the Matsuoka family lived in Ibaraki. Even stranger, how did this woman know the phone number of the relative's house where they were staying? And how did someone from Tokushima know the name of the kindergarten in Ibaraki, where Shinya went to school? It seemed clear that the caller knew the family very well, yet this clue led nowhere. Even more mysteriously, when the couple contacted the Tokushima Prefectural Police to review the call recording, they were told the tape had been lost. Just like that, the most crucial and suspicious lead in the case was cut off, and Shinya's disappearance fell into a dead end once again. Though devastated by the mysterious disappearance of their young son, the Matsuoka family never stopped searching. Mr. Masanobu quit his job as a programmer and switched to self-employment so he could dedicate more time to finding Shinya. The grieving father shared Shinya's information and his personal phone number on television, broadcasting it 50 times. He hoped that anyone who saw Shinya would contact the family immediately. From that point on, reports from witnesses all across Japan started pouring in, with people claiming to have seen Shinya. In May 1989, a witness in Tokushima reported seeing a suspicious man walking with a child who resembled Shinya. The sighting took place at the Bentenhama Pier in Hiwasa Town, Tokushima Prefecture. This location was known to be frequented by North Korean vessels. The witness, familiar with Shinya's case, tried to look closely at the child's face to confirm. However, the man immediately shielded the boy, and both of them left in a white minibus. In April 1990, a housewife from Tokushima called the Matsuoka family, insisting she had seen Shinya. She said she had even gone to the Tokushima Police Department to file a report. Upon hearing this lead, Mr. Masanobu drove straight to the Tokushima police station to get details, only to be met with disappointment. The officer in charge said that his own father had recently passed away, so he had only taken brief notes and hadn't paid much attention to the statement. Moreover, The record of that report had since gone missing. Later that same year, another witness claimed to have seen a boy resembling Shinya in front of a shopping mall in Yamagata. As soon as he got the tip, Mr. Masanobu went to Yamagata and posted large flyers of his son's face at parks and convenience stores. He hoped someone else might see the boy and call, but no leads came. In 1991, another witness reported seeing a couple with a boy in white clothing, believed to be Shinya, at Teryuji Temple in Tokushima. The witness noted that the couple didn't look like the boy's real parents. Shinya's mother spent several days at the temple, hoping to find him, but left heartbroken and empty-handed. Then, in 1995, someone claimed to have seen a boy resembling Shinya in Hokkaido. In 1997, a female office worker reported seeing a boy who looked like Shinya on a subway train in Yokohama. She spoke to the boy and learned that he was often beaten by his uncle, which explained the white gauze wrapped around his arm. Before getting off the train, she left him a slip of paper with her phone number, telling him to contact her if he ever needed help, but no unfamiliar number ever called. In 1998, a staff member at a video rental store in Chigokukai reported that a boy with a wrist injury came in to buy a Titanic movie poster. This detail matched a composite image of Shinya, who was also believed to have had a similar wound. As the employee handed over the poster, the boy held it up and looked toward a man in the distance dressed in Yakuza-style clothing, seemingly asking for approval. Immediately after, the staff alerted the store manager. The two rushed outside to look for the boy, but he had already vanished, so they contacted the police. Then this testimony, like the others, did not lead to any useful clues. Because of its bizarre and unresolved nature, Shinya's case became one of the most famous Kamikakushi disappearances in Japan. 9 years after the mysterious disappearance of little Shinya remained unsolved, another strange case emerged. This time, however, the person who vanished was a middle-aged woman. In early May 1998, Mrs. Noriko Shizuka and her husband planned a visit to Akagi Shrine in Gunma Prefecture with their family. On the morning of May 3rd, it was cloudy and raining from early dawn, but the family still drove to the shrine. By noon, they had arrived, but due to the heavy downpour, several women hesitated to go inside. After some discussion, only Noriko's husband and an uncle decided to climb the stone steps and visit the shrine. Noriko and the 4 other women chose to wait in the car. About 30 minutes after the 2 men had left, Noriko suddenly changed her mind. She felt that since they had made the effort to come all the way there, she should at least go into the shrine and make an offering. So, Noriko stepped out alone, carrying a red umbrella, a 100 yen coin, and a 1 yen coin, intending to catch up with her husband and the uncle. Shortly after, Noriko's daughter got out of the car with her young child, who wasn't feeling well. As she glanced toward the shrine, she spotted her mother standing in an odd location, far from the main path. She wondered what her mother was doing there, but the child's crying distracted her. Moments later, when she looked again, Noriko had vanished. About an hour later, the 2 men returned from the shrine, saying they had not seen Noriko at all. The family waited, hoping she would return, but when she didn't, they began searching. When that turned up nothing, they contacted the police. Noriko was 48 years old and had a round build. At the time she disappeared, she was wearing a long-sleeved pink shirt, a black skirt, and red sandals decorated with hibiscus flowers. Moreover, because of the rain, the woman was also carrying a red umbrella. All these details suggest that the missing person would have been quite memorable to anyone who had seen her. However, the search for Mrs. Noriko was extremely difficult, as she had vanished without a trace. As soon as the missing person report was received, police mobilized 100 personnel, along with sniffer dogs, to search the area around Mount Akagi. They believed the woman might have gotten lost on the mountain, as it was a vast area. Even so, no trace was found over the course of 10 consecutive days. Even the police did not expect a disappearance to hit a dead end in broad daylight, especially with so many tourists around. As many as 20 witnesses reported seeing Mrs. Noriko and submitted information to the Gunma Prefectural Police, but none of the leads yielded any results. Additionally, strange phone calls were made to the victim's home in Chiba Prefecture. However, when family members answered, no one responded on the other end of the line. After tracing the area codes, police confirmed the calls originated from Osaka City in Osaka Prefecture and Yonago City in Tottori Prefecture. Throughout the 2-year investigation, police were still unable to obtain any useful leads. Not giving up hope, the family decided to take part in the television program Kiseki no Tobira TV, no Chikara. This was a live show covering unsolved cases from across Japan. In the program, private detectives as well as various psychics would participate and offer their insights and deductions about the cases. For the search for Mrs. Noriko, a famous American psychic named Gail St. John joined the effort. The psychic stated that on the day of the disappearance, when Mrs. Noriko got out of her car, a man asked her for help. As she approached him, the man collapsed. This was also the last moment her daughter saw her. While Mrs. Noriko was distracted, the man kidnapped her and drove off with her in his car. He then imprisoned and murdered Mrs. Noriko, abandoning her body on Mount Akagi near the Akagi Shrine area, without anyone discovering it. However, the psychic could not pinpoint the exact location where Mrs. Noriko was buried on the mountain. After the episode aired, the mysterious disappearance at Akagi Shrine once again shocked Japan. As a result, many theories emerged online from netizens. Some speculated that she had run away to elope with another man, as there were no screams or signs of a struggle at the scene. However, this theory had a flaw. If she were planning to flee, why would she do it during the daytime, right when the area was full of people? The next theory was that Mrs. Noriko had gotten lost and then suffered an accident on the mountain. A third theory was that she had been taken away by spirits, a phenomenon known as Kamikakushi, similar to what's depicted in famous animated films. The search continued, with persistent efforts from the family and police for a grueling 10 years. By May 2008, over 500 flyers, with a simulated image of Mrs. Noriko's face, were distributed across the country, carrying the family's hope. But in the end, Mrs. Noriko was never found, and her family remained in deep sorrow and loss. In June of the same year, police concluded the investigation and closed the case. 7 years after Mrs. Noriko's mysterious disappearance at Akagi Shrine, another strange incident occurred in Kagawa Prefecture. In Japan, there is a national holiday called Greenery Day, or Midori no Hai, celebrated at the end of April or early May each year. On April 29, 2005, a bamboo shoot digging event for Greenery Day was held in the Goshikidai Forest in Kagawa Prefecture. The event attracted 60 participants, including 5-year-old Yuki Onishi, her mother, and her 8-year-old sister. When the event started at 1 p.m., about 30 minutes later, Yuki excitedly ran to her mother to show off a bamboo shoot she had just dug up. After handing the bamboo shoot to her mother, Yuki ran off again to dig up another one. However, just 20 minutes after Yuki ran off, her mother looked around and couldn't find her daughter anywhere. After searching for a while without success, the family had no choice but to call the police at 3 p.m. After 2 hours of scouring the forest, local police still found no sign of the little girl. Immediately afterward, authorities mobilized a rescue team to assist in the search before nightfall. Despite 6 hours of searching throughout the forest, the rescue team could not find a single clue, not even a shoe or hat that Yuki had been wearing. The next day, more than 3,000 people joined the search, but not a single one of them could uncover any lead. Near the forest where Yuki went missing, there was a lake. Fearing she had fallen in, police hired a pump to drain the water, but still, she was not found. Authorities then brought in sniffer dogs to track Yuki's scent. Surprisingly, one dog stopped in the middle of a path through the forest and barked continuously. However, police were unable to find any suspicious trace at that location. Strangely, 4 other sniffer dogs brought to the same spot also stopped there. This added an eerie, mysterious element to the case, but no one had a definitive answer. The disappearance of the 5-year-old girl while digging bamboo shoots reminded many of 2 similar incidents that occurred in 1989 and 1999. Some even theorized that Yuki had been lured away by someone attending the event. One participant claimed to have seen an unidentifiable man carrying a large black bag, big enough to fit a child like Yuki inside. However, the identity of that mysterious person has never been discovered. Another theory suggested that Yuki was carried off by an eagle while digging in the forest. But according to biologist Ron Clark, an adult eagle can only carry prey weighing around 2 kilograms, over 4 pounds, while Yuki at the time weighed around 15 kilograms, around 33 pounds, making that scenario impossible. At the time of her disappearance, Yuki was over 1 meter or 3 feet tall, wearing a pink hat, a long-sleeved shirt with red and orange floral patterns, white gloves, blue pants, and pink shoes. 20 years have passed, but Yuki's whereabouts remain an unsolved mystery. These are 3 of the most mysterious unsolved disappearance cases in Japan to date. Please share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about this story in the comments section below the video. That brings us to the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue bringing you more meaningful content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.